Okay, so welcome to Isoft Original, which is Isoft Technologies or Isoft Developers. Okay, it's been a while. We decided to do this Photoshop project, and hopefully, behold, we have successfully been able to start this series. This series is going to be in three sections. The first section is going to be the interface, how the interface looks like, how the tools works, how you can work hand in hand, and how you can build something out of something. And this is very very important. It is very 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 extra mile important. Now, to get started, make sure you have successfully installed Photoshop on your computer. Bear in mind that Photoshop can be only accessible to Macs and PCs. I mean, computer and Apple products. It doesn't it's not available on Android devices or anything like that. So if you are using Android device or iPhone, please get a PC or anything like laptop, PC, desktop application, desktop or Apple computers or anything like that. Then you install your Photoshop, and that is awesome. Now, first thing first, when you open the Photoshop, not most of us who will be getting this, because when you look at my version I'm using Adobe CC 2020. I'm using Adobe CC 2020, right? That is the 2020 version I am using. So if you want to as you can see here, I'm using 2020 version, which is copyright 1990 to 2020 Adobe, all right reserved, but I'm using the 21.1 release. Okay, so it doesn't matter any version you are using, you can still get it done. Now we're going to see how the interface looks like. These are some these are my recent projects I've worked on so far, and these section guys are, this is home, this is learn, this is your work, Lightroom, photos, cloud documents, deleted, create a new project, and then open a project, right? So you can create a new project from here, or you can click on open project and it's going to open a project for you. This what's new. What it does is it shows you what is new in Adobe Photoshop. So this what's new, we don't have to go there. And also I'm just reversing this again. This is home. This brings you to this home screen. This learn, it allows you to learn more about Photoshop. When I click on that, it's gonna display a lot of I have internet access right here, so it's just gonna display some details or some informations concerning essentials for Photoshop editing, a lot of guys cropping and all those stuffs, but I don't want to do that. And if I have Lightroom photo which I would like to edit, I'll just go to Lightroom photos. I have already installed Lightroom on my computer, so if I want to import Lightroom photos, I will just have to import it. And then we have cloud documents. The cloud documents, Adobe has something called Adobe Cloud, right? Or Adobe Creative Clouds. Maybe you have stored some photos in your cloud. You can navigate there and then insert some images or fetch some images from your cloud documents. And then we have deleted mostly when you delete some files, it temporarily stores into the deleted section. So if you want to if you want to restore it, you can restore it from there. And then we have the create new project. Now the create new project, mostly you will see something like this. That is a new document. You can also go to file and then new. It all works the same thing. Now when you see this section, this is very important, and I will take some time to explain this very well, because all the jobs you will be doing, most of the settings, depend on this side. Now you can see we have recent. Recent is some recent size you've used so far. That is the recent. And then we have saved. Those you've maybe you have created a size of a project. Let's say maybe 1280 by 720, maybe 5 by 7, maybe anything like that. When you save it, it will come to this save section. We have photo. Photo means photo size, right? Now this is a default photo size, which is 16 by 12 centimeters, and then this is landscape 3 by 2, and then this is landscape 6 by 4, this is landscape 7 by 5. It comes along with different if you want to do a photo book album, photo album mockup, it's free. You can click on that and it's gonna display. But with these templates, you need to have internet access before you can get these templates. Now let's see the printing section. The print section, maybe we have letter size, which is 8.5 by 11, legal size 8.5 by 14, tabloid side 11 by 17, A4 sheet, right? Then we have A4. All these are templates, right? All these are templates. Good. So we have arts and illustrations. They have the size there. If you want to do a postcard, you have the size here. Poster, you see we have a poster size here. And then we have a web base. If you want to build a website templates, you can get any of these and then it's gonna work awesome. If you want to build a mobile design, or let's say a mobile app design, you can just take a template from any of these presets and that is going to work absolutely perfect. But when you are dealing specifically on TV productions, maybe news or anything like that, you have to come to the film section and then choose in within the resolution or the pixels of the design you're willing to do. Is very, very important. It's very, very important. Good. Okay, so to get this done and everything to be perfect, let's get started with this preset details. With this preset details, automatically it created a project name for you, calling it Untitled. So on this Untitled, all you're gonna do is on this Untitled, you can give your project a name. So in this case, we said we're gonna design something. We're gonna design something like this, right? So this is what we're gonna design. So I'd like to put it somewhere here, and this is the first phase, and then this is the second phase. We can decide to choose any of them, but I would like to choose the hard one, which is the second one, right? So the second one is the complicated one, so I would like to choose the second one for now, right? So that is this guy. Good. So with this guy, you can see that the width is long and then the height is very, very small. Good. And then bear in mind that if you are working on a banner or let's say a complimentary card, it depends on how you want the size to be, right? But it's mostly advisable if you are working on a complimentary card. Please be attentive to what I'm saying. Complimentary cards are small cards. They are not banner designs. You won't be printing them in a large format. So in this case, we're going to go in for prints, and then we're going to go in for A4 sheet. So when I click on this A4 sheet, automatically it will give me the width and then the height of the A4 sheet size, and it is calculating everything in millimeters. Good. The orientation, you can decide to choose a landscape or a portrait. With this design, I would like to use a portrait. Leave all these projects to be just like that. This is a background color or a back color. You can decide to choose a black background color. Yes, you see. So I would like to use white as default, and let's go to the let's go to the untitled. Let's call this first project, right? First project. And on this first project, I'll just click on create. So that is going to create a Photoshop interface, beautiful Photoshop interface for me. Now, if you are new to Photoshop, there are some things you need to tackle, right? Now, we have file, edit, image, layer, type, select, filter, 3D, view, window, and then help. I'm not gonna take my time to to take you through all these guys, right? But we will just go through one by one as we start building things up. And then we have this section. This section, we have the home here. When I click on this home, automatically it's just gonna take me back to my home page, right? Good. And this is my previous tools I have used before. So when I click on this, you'll see that it will just be here, right? On any tool you click, it will just be navigated here. Good. And then we have the auto select. Auto select, I have decided to turn it on. By default, you see that they are not turned on. That means when you have any layer selected here, you can't auto select it. So I just turned it on. Okay, these are alignments. Yes, these are alignments. All these we will be using them later on. All right, so from this section, these are called the tools or the tool palette. So with the tool palette, you can select moving tool, and it will show you an example how moving tool works. And then we have the elliptical marquee tool. The elliptical marquee tool, it has a lot of other sections here, which you can choose a rectangle tool, and this is how the rectangle tool also works. So you can select a particular space or a particular section, and you can cut it out or delete it. And we have the lasso tool. The lasso tool, it has also 3 options here. And we have the magic wand tool. We have the cropping tool, which we use for cropping. And then we have the frame tool, right? So this is how it works. You can just frame everything into a specific frame. And then we have the eyedropper, so you can decide to be specific of an image which you want to choose from a color. And then we have the eraser, you see. So the eraser, you can it's not an eraser, but it's a spot healing tool. We use it, I normally use it to remove pimples from or let's say depths from faces of someone. Yeah, and it comes along with a lot of options as well. We have the brush tool, and the brush tool is very, very important. You can use it to do a lot of stuffs, right? So with this brush tool, we have pen, a lot of stuffs. That same thing applies to the rest. We have stamp, and this is how the stamp also works. You can use it to draw a lot of you can duplicate it along. And then we have the history brush tool. That is also very, very important. You can duplicate the history of it. And then we have the eraser tool. You can erase some portions of the project. And then we have the gradient tool. The gradient tool gradients some specific space for you. And then we have the blur tool. You can decide to blur some place, and that is gonna work absolutely perfect. We have the dodge tool. The dodge tool also brightens some portion of an image. And then we have the pen tool. The pen tool also helps you to draw a line or to make specific section of a design that we will be using a lot. And then we have the text tool, which you use to add any text to your project. We have a path selection tool, so you can select a path and then you move it along. And then we have rounded rectangle tool. You see, by default it is the rectangle tool, right? You can decide to choose a rectangle tool, and that is going to create a layer, a source of layer with a rectangle shape for you. And then we have the hand tool, which you can use to move your image all across, right? Good. All right, then we have the zoom tool. So just have to zoom and then zoom out. These are, you can, edit your tools in which you want to add to your palette, and that is going to be awesome, right? Good. All these guys, I don't want to go there because they're going to be complicated for you, so I don't want to go there. Now this guy here, this is your project, right, or your layer. As you can see, this layer here, that is called a layer. So I can maximize this layer, and this layer, this is your project you've done so far, right? And on this layer, these are some things. When you select any tool you select has its own properties it will be given to you on this bar. Don't worry if you are getting things complicated, you will get to understand as we move on. Good. Now let's come to this section. Not mostly, you won't be getting all these exactly as the same thing, but everything you see here, it is also being added here. You can see that I have the property section here, that is this property which is being checked. I have the color checked, which is this color, and then I have the layers checked, which is this layers, and then I have the options and then the tools. So that is it. I have the options and then the tools selected. We will be going there gradually. Now let's see some shortcuts of some things we will be using most, right? We're gonna see some things we will be using most. Now the zoom tool, when you click on the zoom tool, you can zoom out, you can zoom in, drag and drop, and that is gonna zoom in and zoom out, right? Or you can hold alt on your keyboard and then use the scroll mouse, and that is awesome, right? That is awesome. All right, so with no further ado, let's get started, right? So we just gotta start our design, and that is gonna be awesome. Now with this design, it comes along with 4 colors, or let's say 3 colors, right, and some couple of text, and it's very, very interesting, right? Okay, so we've gotten the idea to build this, but you can see that when we take A4 sheet for an example, let's go to window and let's add a rule, or let's say a ruler, right? And okay, let's see, can we get a ruler here? The shortcut key is Ctrl plus R. I think select ruler. Alright, so just hit Ctrl plus R on a keyboard to view a ruler. Now drag and then drag from this section, and don't drag from this section, drag from the ruler to create a ruler and drop it. Now you can see that I have ruled out my project, and see something from here. From this section to this section, you can see that they are numbered. This is 11. So if I want to divide this into so many categories, I can just divide this into 3. As you can see here, it is on the 3 line, and I can divide this to the 6, which is 2, and I can divide this to the 9. So 3 3 9. So that means I'm gonna get 3 phases of this project, right? So now, because this project, this banner is like this, I would like to choose only one phase. So after that, if I want to print it out, I can duplicate the copies for it to be like 4 times or 3 times on an A4 sheet, which I can use, right? Good. So with this, let's go to the cropping tool, and let's take this up for it to match up with this line, right? Then let's click on, hit enter on your keyboard, and now when I zoom out, you'll see that this is how it looks like. Now we have gotten the size of this design. right? So now let's go to the selection tool or the move tool. Let's select this rule, take it up to where it came from, for it to be out of the project, because we don't need that for now. So all we need is this. Good, we have successfully created our first project. Don't forget that if you want to save your project, just go to file and then go to save, and it's going to pop up this project for you. Mostly, if you're using CC 2020, it's going to pop up this for you. But just save it to your computer. When you click on save to your computer, mostly you won't get my first dialog, but you will get this dialog. When you get this dialog, I'm gonna save it to my desktop, and I'm gonna keep the name to be called first project. Now for this first project, I'm gonna save it as a project, right? I'm gonna save it as a Photoshop project. So I'm just gonna use a Photoshop PSD, then I'll just click on save, and that is gonna save my project for me. Okay, so that is it. Let's start building something. Now let's see something here. Now you can see that we have some layers. This black guy, right? Let me extend this for you to see it clearly. This black guy, this black color is one layer, and this orange color is one layer. This image right here is one layer, and then this white guy is one layer. This text deep orange layer is also another layer, and then this guy is another layer. So let's start to build something up. So we have to build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers, including the image, which sums up to 7 layers. Now let's see how we can create a layer. Now creating a layer, it comes along in different dimensions. First of all, you can go to layer, new, and then you just click on a new layer. It's going to ask you a name for the layer. So I'm going to call this orange layer. And that is going to create an empty layer here for me. As you can see here, I have gotten an empty layer. Good. Now, if you can't see your layers, just go to window and then check on your layer or your layers, or simply hit F7 on your keyboard to get it done. To see it, mostly it can be popped up here, or it can be like it can be popped up here like this. You click on that, you will see everything here, or you can just take it up and then put it up here, and you will get it as I have mine here. Good. So we have now created our first layer by going to layer, new layer. Good. We need about 6 layers, right? So on this layer, we're gonna paint this. We're gonna fill this with a color, right? We're gonna fill this with a color, a specific color. So to do that, let's see the first color. I would like for us to choose the first color to be like this, right? Good. So with this, I would like to choose the color which I want to use. So I want to use this color right here, not like a dark black or like a deep black, but a kind of black color like that. And then I will just click on OK, and as you can see, I have that color here. So this is a color selection or a color picker selection, which helps you to choose a color. Within also, you can choose a color from here, and that is going to reflect on the color palette as well. So I'll just select my color like this and click on OK, and that is going to select my color here for me. Now let's come to this gradient tool. Click on hold. You will see that we have paint bucket tool here. Click on the paint bucket tool, and then make sure your orange layer is selected, Because we have chosen an orange layer, let's choose an orange color. So you can see that this is the orange color, so we have to choose the color according to this, right? So with this color, I'll choose this orange color, and I think I love it. I want this orange color, so I make sure I selected the bucket tool, the paint bucket tool, then I click on anywhere. Now you can see that this orange, or this orange layer, has been successfully been created. Now we need to create our black layer. So you can either go to layer, new, and then you just click on this layer, and that is gonna work the same thing. Or you can just simply hold shift plus control plus N on your keyboard for a shortcut, which I'm gonna do now. So I'm gonna do that, shift plus control plus N, and that is gonna pop up this dialog, new layer dialog for you, and that is awesome. Good. You can also click on this guy, and that one also is gonna create an empty layer, but it's not gonna give you the chance to rename the layer or to give it a specific name. So if you want to delete any layer, drag and drop it inside this recycle bin. We will be working along with all these guys, so don't worry at all. Now let's go to layer, new layer, select the layer tab, and let's give this a layer. Let's give this layer a name, right? Let's give this layer a name. So giving this layer a name, let's call this black layer. So with this black layer, we now have this black layer also here. So just go in for the paint bucket and then select your black color here, like a brownish color, and click on the paint bucket. Now you can see that we have two layers here. First of all, we have the brown, the orange layer, and then we have the black layer. Now you can see some red eyes here. These red eyes, when I click on this, I have turned off this black layer. When I click on this, I have turned off this orange layer. Turn it on, turn it on. So you can see, you will know how to switch in within layers. All right, so we have created our black layer. Bear in mind that if you think your layer is being, the color of your layer is being messed up with your background, just click on this. You can choose black. Click on this. You can choose light gray. Click on this. You can choose a custom color. Click on this. You can choose a medium gray, and that is gonna work absolutely perfect, depending on what you want to do. Right, good. So I have this here. Quickly I will be creating my dark orange color. So I'll just go to layer, new layer, and then I'm gonna call this dark orange layer. Good. I'll just click on OK. I now have the layer selected. I'll make sure I have my orange selected, and I'm just gonna choose a dark orange, which is quite darker than this. So this is it. I really love this. So I click on OK. Make sure you've selected your paint bucket tool. Click on this, and now you have this background orange color as well. Good. That is awesome. Now let's see our layer, the next layer. That is a white layer. Now remember that when we were creating the project, it gave us a background here. Now click on this lock to unlock the background for it to get an image. Now right click on this image. You can either double click to get access to edit the name of this. So let's call this white layer. Right, so instead of us creating a white layer, we will now have to we now have our white layer instead of creating a white layer. So let's see the next layer. we have our black layer, we have our orange layer. Yeah, good. So that is it. We will see how we can duplicate a lot of layers on these, right? Okay, so that is good. Now let's get started. Let's turn everything off and let's turn on only the black layer, right? So from this you can see that we have this style here, and that is very, very, very interesting. Now we're going to arrange this. So arranging this, let's drag and drop this white layer on top of everything, right? So we have this white layer here, so we have to cut this section, right? We have to cut this section, you see. So let's bring this black layer at the bottom of this white layer, right? So we're going to use this tool called the pen tool. Click on the pen tool, click here, come here, click here, come here, click here, come here. Now we have masked out this section. These sections we have masked them out. Make sure your make sure your white layer is selected. Then right click, make selection, make sure your feather radius is 0. Click on OK. Now you will see that the section is being selected. Now when I click delete on my keyboard, it's going to delete only the selected path. Undo that. When I click on this mask, it's going to mask out what I don't need. And that is one kind of that is one kind of a good way to work along. And when I select this, you can see that I only have this mask, right? Good. So guys, I'm very sorry for my background, because where I am now there are a lot of background noises. So I now have my mask, which is this color here. So I now have these colors here, right? Good. So let's see if we can get any image like this. So first of all, I'll just go to my pictures or any of your pictures, then I will just drag and drop this image here. I want to use this image for this project, so I will just take this, mask this image somewhere here, and I'll just select the selection tool, take it out, and then bring it here. So this has also been created a new layer for me, and as you can see, that is the layer here. You can scale, resize any layer you want to resize, and that is going to work absolutely perfect. After you have resized every layer, make sure you just accept it here for it to be well done. Now let's move this layer at the bottom of this white layer, and let's position this here. Now this layer, let's double click on this and let's call this image layer. So now we have our image layer here. Let's see from this guy, you can see that the image layer, we have some line like that, right? Good. So with this image layer, all you need to do is quite simple. You can see that the black image also comes like this. So already we have this black layer. So to get this done, just drag this down like this for us to get this this line guy here. So I'll just take it up like that. Now I need this section, right? Good. So to get this done, First of all, I need to enable my light orange color. So enable your light orange color and bring it on top of this image. So this is how it's gonna be. Let's see this. So we have to bring it on top of everything. Now look at this. You see how it looks like? We have to do some reshaping. So what we're gonna do is we have to select a pen tool, click on this, come here and click on here. Select this. You can undo it by hitting Ctrl+Z anytime you want to undo anything. So you can see that this is how it looks like. So we have to click here, here, and then we come here like this. You can see the line is not straight, so I'll just undo that, and here, and let's see this. That is awesome. Then let's do it this way. Right click, make sure your orange layer is selected, make selection path, and then click on, make sure your feather radius is being added to 0. Click on OK. You will get this section selected. Let's mask it out. So you see, that is very awesome. Bear in mind that you can always select the selection tool or the move tool to move it along if you want to reposition it to anywhere you want to position it. Just look at how it works, and I would like to position it somewhere here. Good. So I have gotten this guy. As you can see, that is this. Now I have to cut the image out. So select this image. Now go to this guy, pen tool, right? And then make sure your image is selected. Click anywhere from here. Right click, make selection. Make sure the feather radius is 0. Click on OK. Make sure your image layer is selected. Just click on delete on your keyboard, and boom, you have your design. Good. Now when we look at the design carefully, you can see that our white layer is quite not well enough. But before we work on the down layer, now let's see this. Now you can see that we have gotten this layer, and I really love it. You can decide to position this down and to get the same thing as this, and that is awesome and super good. So with this, we can just go ahead and then work with this guy as well, which is the dark orange. So to get done with the dark orange, bring the dark orange, turn it on, and bring the dark orange on top of everything. Now when we want to see how the dark orange works, it takes from the bottom, goes up, goes like this, and then it just comes like that. Good. So we can then mask it, and then we just get it done. So select the pen tool, click here, make sure you gauge by where you want to do that. So I just want to add it to maybe this section, depending on what you want to do, this section. And you can see that it just goes up like that. So I'll just goes up like that. Good. And you can see that it just goes straight like that. So I'll just straight it like that. You see that the line is not straight, so I'll just undo that, and I'll just go straight, come here. Good. And as you can see, it has to go forward a little bit. So to do that, just um, extend this, or you can just undo everything, then you extend it to this section, just like that. You see, just like that. Then you just see how it goes. So it just comes back like that and then goes again. So you just have to do it this way. You see, then you go to this side. You see, good, just like that. Then you see it just has to reach to this bottom side, or just this bottom side, and then it just goes like that, just like that. So just right click, make selection, click on OK, you mask it out. So by default you've gotten this, right? You've gotten this. Good, and behold, that is one way or the other round how you can build this, right? Now let's see the other section. I'll just undo everything like this, and then let's see the other section, how we can, adjust things up. Now I can just take this down. I have undo everything for the dark orange. So what I can do is I can use this selection tool to select this portion, right? You see, to select this portion, and then hit on delete on my keyboard. When you click on delete on your keyboard, it's just gonna delete all the section, which is gonna give you something like this, right? Good. So with this, I can now just say that I can now say that I can track things up, right? Make sure this dark orange is selected. Make sure you have gotten something like this. Good. And let's go in for the pen tool. Click on this. You see, you can see that it's kind of something like this. So you just have to come here, click on this, then you can see that it just goes up like that. So you just come here like this, then you go straight. Yes, just like that. So then you have to just fill it up like this, and then make selection, select it. You have your radius, right? So all you need to do is make sure your dark orange is being selected, and then you go in for your paint bucket, then you paint this section. Bear in mind that you have when you are done with this, you still have the same design you've gotten, right? It's the same thing. So let's go ahead, make sure your dark orange layer is selected. Let's see how we can do some shaping for this, right? So to do this shaping for this, let's see this. We can either decide to use this guy, make sure this is selected, and we can just do it this way. You see, we can just do it this way, just like this way. Let it match to the line of this. Just delete on the keyboard, and then let's go in for our pen tool. Select this section and then take it down. So just like this. Yes, and yes, mask it out, and then you just delete it. So I believe you've gotten the ideas of how you can create some shapes. If you think the shape is kind of big, you can still go in for the pen tool, and then you just do it this way. Just move it like that, just like this. Make sure you make selection, make sure the dark orange is selected, then you delete it. It depends on whatever you want to do, right? How you want to do the design is very important. So this is one of a section, or one type. This is one of the type, or one of the methods we use to do the designing. Let's see the another method. I want to delete everything, right? I want to delete everything, including the black design and including this. And I want to do the same design. And bear in mind, if you want to delete everything, you can't delete all the layers. You have to remain one layer. So when I delete this, it's not working. You see, it's not working. Okay, that is the main layer. So what I'm gonna do is, first of all, let me select everything and delete this. And let's choose a white background, and let's assume that this is our background. Sorry for that. Let's assume that this is our background. Now we are going to do the designing. We are not going to do the designing. Now I would like for you to go ahead with my flow, how I'm just gonna do the design. I would like for you to go just by that, right? Good. So with no further ado, let's see something here. We have some rectangles and some custom shapes all along here, right? I think my version I'm using is kind of somehow complicated, but don't worry, let's do it from the scratch. So what I'm gonna do is, this is my background layer, right? And I'm gonna start by this color. So to get started, just go to layer, new layer. Already we've gotten to know how to build layers. So let's call this black layer, right? Good. So on this black layer, I'll just paint everything with my black background, just like that. Good. I'll just select the selection tool. I want to cut this section out. So I'll just select this guy, you see, and I want only this guy. I don't want the rest, right? So I just go to select inverse, then it will inverse my selection. Then I hit delete on my keyboard. Now you can see that I have only this line, right? Good. All right, so let's see something here. I want a white background layer, right? So with this background layer, make sure your key or your padlock is removed, right? Now let's add a rectangle, something like this, right? And also go to selection, inverse. Now hit delete, and it's gonna delete and give you only this, right? Don't forget that I deleted some paths of yeah, don't worry, I'll get it done. Good. So this is what I have so far from my background image, right? So I need to do this line image, right? All right, to do that, you can see that it is somehow slant, so I'll just rotate it for it to be this way, right? Then I push it here, then I just extend it. But while I will be extending it, I will be holding Alt on my key, oh sorry, Shift on my keyboard, and then drag this here, holding Shift, drag it here. Then I will move this a little bit up like this. Then I hit Enter on my keyboard. Now you can see that I have this design. Anytime you want to adjust it, you can just move it up or do anything like that. Good. And that is my black image, and this is my white image. Now you can see that the white image is on top of the black image, right? So just move the black image at the back of the white image. Now you will see that you have the white image on top of the black image. That is very good. That is very good. Now let's see something. We have another method of creating layers, right? Good. Let's select go to layer, new layer. Let's call this all right, let's do it this way. Let's do this. Make sure your black layer is selected, and we have to cut this out, right? So select your pen tool, click here. You can see that it starts from somewhere here, right? So just click here, somewhere here, click here, go here, then come here, just like this. Make selection, right? 0, and we have to select the color of this, and going for the bucket tool and then bucket it up. Good. So after that, use the selection tool, or use the selection rectangle selection tool to click anywhere on the screen, and you have your design just like this, right? So that is it. Now let's see something here. We have to get this same black guy here. So to get this on, just you can just select this section, make sure your black layer is selected, take the paint bucket and then paint it, and because this layer is on top of it, it will be covering it, right? Good. And that is it. Good. So we have successfully created our black layer. Now let's add our image before we proceed. So I have my image here already been selected, so I'll just move my image and then drag and drop it here. So with this, I would like for it to be at the bottom of everything, which means it is going to the back of everything. So this is my design I have done so far. As you can see, the same thing applies to this. Good. Now let's see how we can work along with the orange guy here. So for the orange guy, I'll just create a new layer and I'll call this dark orange. Good. So on this dark orange, I will select the dark orange and I will use the paint bucket as we did on our previous lesson to fill everywhere. Now, after I am done with this, I would like to select only the bottom of this side. Good. Make sure your dark orange is selected. Go to select and inverse. Then hit delete on your keyboard to delete all the unwanted spaces provided for you. Now, as you can see, we have created this line, which is this. So we have to use some technique to draw this line. There are a lot of ways of building this techniques, but let's do it this way so that we will get the better understanding with the straight edges, right? Good. With this dark orange, you can see that it's here. I would like to duplicate this dark orange for it to be 2, right? So duplicating this dark orange, I'll drag and drop it inside this plus sign, and that is gonna duplicate and give me a copy of the dark orange. So selecting the selection tool, I can now move this dark orange on top of everything. Now I can hold shift on my keyboard and drag this to the beginning of this section, right? And I can hold shift and take this up, as you can see how I have done it. And I can zoom in either by using the zoom tool or hold alt on the keyboard to zoom it up, right? Hold shift to align it, something like this. Let's see the alignment. Now I can see that I have to push it up instead, like this. Now hold alt on your keyboard to select a specific control on your keyboard. I think, is it the shift? No, I think it's the alt, right? Oh, undo that. Is it control? Okay, hold control on your keyboard. Whilst holding the control, you can edit the sections or the edges of them, right? So let me undo that. Once again, hold control while your hand is being pressed on the control key on your keyboard. use your mouse to drag this guy for you to get the matching side of it. So after that, just leave it. After you are good with it, just leave it. And now when I zoom back, you see that I have my nice beautiful shape. Now I can simply click on enter, and then I have my nice shape like this. Bear in mind that you can still hold shift and then take this up as you want it, but the more you take it up, the more the line is destroying. So to get this done, undo everything, just scale it up. Don't hold anything, just scale it up like that, and then push this forward just like this. You see, so you have all these sections here. Don't worry about them, we will be cutting them off later or sooner. So to get this done, hold shift on your keyboard and drag this guy. When you see that when you are dragging it, it's gonna destroy your line here. So undo that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna push this up for it to be big and draw it back as we did earlier on. Hit enter on your keyboard. Now take this selection tool. Oh sorry, let's line it up good like this. Now select the dark orange, hold control, and then select the dark orange, copy as well, and right click and merge the layers. Let them be one layer. You see, so now we have them to be one layer. Now let's see how we can cut these guys out. Good. To cut these guys out is quite simple. Zoom in, take this, then you zoom in a little bit, go here just like this, you see, and make sure your dark orange copy, the one you merged, is being selected. Click on delete on your keyboard, and now you can see that you have it being deleted here. Good. And after that, just zoom in and then remove the lines, go in for a pen tool, select this guy, put this here, or just say anything like that, or make sure you have your line selected. Make selection and then enter, delete. So you can see that by now you will be able to get your shape like this. It's more professional. It's more professional for you to do it this way rather than to do it any other way, right? Okay, so this is it. We have it this way. So now let's cut this side. So to cut it, is very simple. To cut it is very simple. Select the pen tool, click here, click here, click here, click here, click there, make selection, enter, delete, just like that. So as you can see, we have this guy here, and that is awesome. That is very awesome. Now, okay, so we have gotten this guy here. Let's try to work along with this guy, right? So to get along with this guy, as you can see from this section, it is being cut like this. You see, there are some edges like this, right? Good. So all you're gonna do is select this white image, then we will duplicate this white image to get it to be 2, right? So when it is 2, we just have to see we have this as well. Okay, let's make it the simplest way. Forget about the duplication. We have only this white image, right? Select the white image and go in for a pen tool, zoom in, select this, come to this guy, somewhere here, you see, then you go back like this. So just like this, make sure the white layer is selected and then click on delete. So we have this as we've gotten here, just like this guy here, right? Good. So that is it. We can still add some line here, which is very simple, right? To get a line is very simple. We just have to make sure this guy is selected. Go here, click here, click here, go to this guy, click here, select these guys, make selection, and then choose a white color, and then use the paint bucket to paint it, right? And that is it. You see, it's being added to the image layer. So now we have something like this, right? Good. Always try to keep up, right? Because you can see that as I did, I have some line here. So select this, draw this line, something like that. You see, delete it. That is awesome. Good, just like that. So now we have this design. So let's see how we can work along with that orange guy here. Is very, very simple as well. So with the orange guy, we just have to do some little bit of adjustment. Just go to the layer, new layer. Let's call this light orange. And on this light orange, I would like to choose the light orange. And yeah, I have it here. So what I'm just going to do is I will just put this on top of everything, and I'll take the bucket tool and then bucket it up. So I have this light orange here. Now bear in mind that we need this shape, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll just hold shift on my keyboard, and then I'll just draw these lines. I'll just draw this line, put it here. You see, just draw the line just like that. Hold shift to take it effect. Now let's do it this way. Rotate it. As you can see, we have it like that. So rotate it and then put it here. Just extend this by holding shift, rotate it like that, and then let's position it somewhere here. So we have this, right? As you can see, that is the line, and we have to add it. Just enter. You see, so that is it. Let's do some little deletion. So to delete this, make sure this orange guy is selected. Select this guy, zoom in, and then select till you reach to this line. Delete just like that, and then you select to reach this guy. Hit delete on a keyboard, and that is it. You can see. So I have this line, which is this. Very, very simple. Now let's see the next one. It is very simple. Make sure you have this light orange guy selected. Select the selection tool and start drawing the line like this, like that. And make sure you have this. Select the paint bucket, paint it up, select anywhere, so you have it, right? Or you can simply zoom in to see whatever you are doing. You can see that the line is not just up to the, the line is not just up. So you use the arrow key on your keyboard to align it, and then you go in for the paint bucket, then you bucket it up, as you can see. So that is it. So that is how, basically that is how we get the line. So you see, that is the line. So by default, we have successfully created this. Now let's see how much more we can build some line for it to be here. That one also, it is very simple, but it needs another line. So we need to add another layer. This layer, let's call this down black. So with this down black, we will just select, make sure you have the selection tool, just select this line here, right? Good. When we check out the line, you can see that this is how it looks like, right? So this one, it matches up to this line, right? So with this, we'll just have to go in for this black guy, and we go in for the paint bucket tool, then we bucket it up, right? So with this, we have this here. Hold shift on your keyboard to drag it up, just like that. Zoom in to get it done. So this is how it's going to be, right? This is how it's going to be. You see? Good. Let's drag this back on top of the white, and this is how it's going to be, right? So with this, let's hold control and let's do some little bit of adjustment. So holding control, just pull this up just like that, and pull this back just like that for it to sum up to this guy. Good. And then hold space to move this along, right? So hold control, let's put this up a little just like that, and as you can see, the shape is just like that. So we have to take this back just like that. You see? After that, just hit enter on your keyboard, and now you can see that you have your design, but it's quite not working out. So what we have to do is we have to first take this back. You see? Just like that. Hit enter, then go to the other side, take this back, make sure it's all well aligned, and then hit enter, and then hold control again. Let's fix the down one, and that is it. Hit enter on the keyboard. So now we have it to be like this. Now you can then use your arrow key to move it up, or you can hold shift on your keyboard to take this down, and move your arrows, and that is gonna seal to that, and we have that cute little guy here. Now let's see how we can work along with the test so that everything is going to be awesome. But meanwhile, we have this light gray guy. It's very simple. It is very simple. All you need to do is just create a new layer. Let's call this transparent, right? So on this transparent, we have this transparent layer. Let's put it on top of the image, and let's draw the line from here. And with this line, we would like to use some color like red. I like to use red, and then I take the paint bucket to paint it. You see, so this is how it's going to be. And I would like to make sure it's selected. We have something called opacity. I would like to take the opacity down, or just play along with it, the track bar. You see, so we have this design, just simple as we have this here. So that is how it works. So let's add the text to this project, and I believe we may call it a day. So with the text, just go to the text tool, click on the text, right? Let's start with the text by this corporate banner, right? So we just have to click on this, and let's type Ikesoft. Then let's enlarge it to get rid of to change the settings of the color of the text. Go to window, make sure you have character selected, and that will display you the color which you want. So I'll just go by this same guy, yes, and I have this Ikesoft here. Now you can see that the font is Arial regular, so I'll just use Arial, and then I'll use regular, and that is it. I have the Ikesoft, so I'll just take down, put it here. So we have the Ikesoft, and as you can see, we have the banner here. So Yes, so on this Microsoft, I'll just duplicate it by dragging it and dropping it to the plus sign, and drag this down and double click on this to edit the text, and then I'll say that Microsoft Technologies, right? So with this, I like to choose the font size to be bold, and yeah, I like to scale this down, put this here. As you can see, we have this banner here, so I think I have to align it somewhere here, just like this. You see, so I have this guys selected like this. So with this, I have this here. So let's add the motto or the slogan to this, right? So the slogan, I'll just duplicate this Microsoft once again, and I'll take it down like this, and I'll change the color to black, right? And double click on this, and I will just say that coding. So I would like to choose with small letters. Okay, so I'll just say that coding our priority, right? So coding our priority. Then I'll just take it down like this, put it here. As you can see where they are honest, I'll just put it here, and I'll just you know, we have something called spacing, right? So that is for the spacing, the VA. So you can decide to space it up, you see. So I'll just space it up for it to be like this, just like that, right? Just position it somewhere here, you see. So that is it. I really love this. So I'll decide to change this color to black, and that is it. I really love this design. Good. Now I will still have to duplicate this coding our priority. So just drag and drop it to the plus sign, bring it on top of this guy. So we want to add this text goes here, so we will just choose the color to be white, and the spacing, I'll turn it to 100 for now, and I'll double click on this to change the text. I will say that my first design, so just say my first design in Photoshop, right? So my first design in Photoshop, as you can see, the font size is normal, so just extend it, you see, just like that, you see, just like this. So as you can see from here, we have this here, right? Let's see the next text. That is this www.corporate.name.whatever.com. So to get this also done, just duplicate this text, or okay, we just don't duplicate it, right? Just go in for this coding our priority, and then duplicate that one as well, and bring that one to the black side, you see. Then let's change the color of it to be white, you see. Double click on that, and let's say that www.microsoftdevelopers.com, right? So just like that. So now we have our design, just like that, right? So we have our design as we wanted it to be. So that is how we do some simple banner designing, basically from scratch. You see, this video is very long, but I decided to start from scratch to show you how we use tools to build shapes and, you know, others. When you take your time to take a good look at this video very carefully, very well, you will clearly understand that you will be very good, and you will be one of the best among the rest. So let's see how we can export this project as our final output. So to get this project done good and once and for all, what you need to do is just go to the file, save as, and now you have to give the name. So let's call first project, and we have to select JPG, go to images, and I'd like to save it inside my images. Just click on OK. Now when we go to our images, which is pictures, you can see that we have our image, which is where is this guy? This, right? So we have this here. So we have our design, and that is awesome. All right, we will end here, and my name still remains like Software Original, and on our next lesson we're going to see how we can build up some new designs with some simple techniques, and I believe you will be learning a lot in this tutorial. Until we meet again on our next lesson, have a nice day, and I'm